Y'all get the true J essence. So you are catching me in the midst of another sleepless night. Now I sleep, but it's crazy hours, a lot going on. Because there is a truth behind the statement I am moving. And you guys get the exclusivity. I am going to be leaving the Fanakra Haven. Um, and it's not under good terms. It's not under good terms. So I'm going to sit here and talk to you and say a lot. Um, um, so first, I'm going to preference this when I talk about landlords. Like when I've spoken about landlords in the past, I've been very vague because YouTube and public, and then people will turn around and take, a couple situations and just kind of run amok with it. Period. What I have noticed a lot, even with my friends coming here, with seeing a lot of transactions, but a lot of people who are coming in trying to find housing and different things like that, is that the landlord issue is a headache, especially if you're coming from the West, because we see landlordism or whatever it is. It's a job, it's a business. If you provide a certain service, you in turn pay for that service and go, and the service is really just your house, your upkeep, your preventive care, like all of that other stuff. Out here, they're not landlords, they are niggas with houses. And so what I've seen before we get into my deal is like people will change the price on you in the last second. People will say that has happened here that they will do some things, and then once they get the money, they are not done at all. And then there's this thing about trying to like act over educated about a situation that is not the situation at all. It's very black and white. So first, I just have to tell people when you come out here, you've got to calm down and really ease your way in looking for housing and really figure out the person who you're renting from, because there's not a cut and dry system. It's not. It's really you are renting from that person. Now there are some people who have some great landlords. My homegirl Lo, her landlord is great. Um, but it's really just a mixed bag. It's really just a mixed bag. So my situation is not good, and it's not good. It's just not good, and so we're going to leave. And let me see if I can say it very calmly. When I came in, and I say we a lot because I have a very good friend who did this with me. We were excited to come in, and we did negotiate a wonderful deal. And part of the deal was for me to pay like 4 months in advance each time. Like I'm paid quarterly, which I do. Never been late. Been super early. Paid a month ahead of time. Always. And one of the things that I realized in hindsight I shouldn't have done is we moved into the property before the work was done because they were, really acting nice, and that's the other thing, real brotherly, real positive love, one love, black people prosper, all this other stuff. And so when we moved in, they were supposed to get some things done, and it was like minor, like painting. There was some blemishes in the wall, like you could fix this and stuff. So nothing to stop living. There's a window that does not shut all the way, like we and got the information to make it shut. This is like I said, little stuff, but pay attention to little things later. They never finished it. Never finished it. But we're all on good accord and all this other stuff. And then there's some other things that happen. The first kind of red flags is we noticed is that even in the first 2 weeks, like there were some plumbing issues. And so when we text them, they were like, that's on you. And it's like, no. They were like, wear and tear. No, it's not. There's plumbing, like, so we kind of went to the contract. So they fixed it. And this cost like maybe $10, whatever. And then we gave them information about something else. So one, they don't respond back They respond back in 2 or 3 days. And then she's like, oh, the kids, this, like, it's always an excuse on why it's not a response. So the big issue that happened is the sink. So whenever the house was made, I think that the house is gorgeous, but they made it quick and cheap. And so like some of the plumbing is not in the right spaces. So the first issue is that the sink wood was gathering, because we were using the sink, was gathering water and all that other stuff. And that was a big ordeal for them to fix too, which is not even fixed properly. It's still not painted, it's still not done now, but at least they came in and fixed the structure. So, and once again, it's not too bad or whatever else like that. And I kind of noticed, like, I feel like they don't like me, like certain things. All that to say, because I'm going to get into the main deal, is that when we picked up the side studio, because originally they didn't give it to us. Then we worked out a deal. We picked up the side studio. That's where my mother is staying. That's where originally I was going to put my cousin connection for the business. When we picked up the side studio, we went in and we had this big, conversation about what we can do and stuff like that. And we came up with the deal. They were supposed to tile it. There was a major water leak, so I asked them to check it. And the roof was kind of sunken into. And so she was like, well, we can't do anything until we get, the payments and stuff like that. So I was like, cool. I even told them I have to wait until such and such a date. And I told them I must have the space by this date. So I paid them. I paid them for basically $800, like $800 to $1,000. They did not come and fix that shit, excuse me, for 2 to 3 weeks. Didn't tell me why. And then when we see them paint fixing it, they did not tile it like they said they would. They did not paint it the color they said they would. They didn't do shit they said they would. And then it was just like, not the straw in the bag. When they did the ceiling, because I asked, was it leakage, like to go look in it, they never took it out to look. He was just like, no, no, no. They just fixed the ceiling wrong. And so instead of taking the wood part down and just recutting it and putting it back in so it can fit, they put a nail up just to kind of put the side in. And so that's when I really realized, oh, that now the same day that that happened, and this is where the big issue came between us, we had an electrical fire. Yes, and what happened is one of our cleaners just happened to walk by the moment it sparked. So thank you, Jesus, for that. Thank you, it did not happen in the middle of the night. Thank you, so many things, right? And so it really was, when it happened, we pulled the electrician out, and he was just like, y'all are running way too much stuff through this one, like it was one circuit box. And we did not purchase any appliances. So that was meaning that the landlord, all the stuff that brought to the house, they wired it wrong. And they had this electrical fire. And I literally was pissed. So this is the same day I'm going in there, I'm watching them hammer the shit up with a nail and all the stuff. So I tell the landlady, and I think I was perturbed. Like I couldn't even look at her because this is after 3 weeks after the fact. I'm already late on my deadline. You haven't done anything. You said you're not communicating, and oh, we don't need to tile this because we're going to use a special paint. Like you did not say anything, and all you had to do was say something. So now we're dealing with the electrical fire. I know my mother's coming in. I'm just really like praising God. Like we were not asleep and that shit hit, and so I probably had attitude. I did. I had attitude. But I was just like, this is, a situation. What happened? What happened? Happened. So she was just like, okay, okay, okay. Until we turned around and said, you guys need to pay for it. And then that's when her attitude changed. Total bill was $53, y'all. $53 to fix it. Like we had to reroute everything. We fixed it. We had our electrician fix it. She goes home, whatever. She sends back a message per the contract. They don't have to fix it, which is a damn lie because you can't read. Because they said that it says in the contract that they are responsible for electric. So we should have called her so she could come out and fix the electric. But because we did not do that, that's why they're not responsible. No, I have the contract. The contract says the landlord is responsible for electric, period. So I wanted to that's when I realized I was dealing really with ignorance. And that's when also you have to understand she does not respond to us, and it was an electrical fire. So I was already telling my partner that if that's the case, they would have given us their maintenance person information because that was an emergency. So really, to be honest with you, I let it go. Like I was walking around hot, just steaming, but steaming. But I was just like, the bitch is dumb. Like for me, it was like, it's $53. Fuck it. Like I was like, fuck it, fuck it. I'm not gonna go back and forth with these people because they're dead ass wrong. Because we're in the house, and at this point in time, like I said, we finally got the information for the studios, and oh no no, not yet. And then so I kind of was like, fuck it. The next day, she sends a message to my business partner that says I am not allowed to talk to her, that she will no longer speak to me. When she comes here, I'm not allowed to be around. Like she told me because I have an attitude problem. I'm like, bitch, yeah, attitude problem, bitch. I was almost on fire. Like, so she was like, I like she just point blank. She said, I can't. Issue number one, bitch, I'm the one that paid for the studio, so you're not gonna talk to me. Issue number two, I really was like, cool, I'm out. Like y'all can see all y'all want to. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I believe in owning my own shit, truthfully, after this. And it's like, you're never going to hold anything over my head so hard that I am going to compromise who I am just to have it. And for women, excuse me, I'm going to get there. That's like the concept of good dick. Like a bitch ain't never going to be dick whipped. I refuse. Like I've gone through 43 years without being dick whipped-ish. Okay? But I refuse to make a decision so dumb that I want something stronger than what's best for me. So I was already livid, like, bitch, we can go. Because in these contracts, all you have to do is give a 30-day notice and the contract is void. Like, put it out on the street. Put it in writing. Put it in writing. The issue was my mama was coming. So I kind of was just like, if I have to move, I need to know now so I can find a place because things is crazy. I'm working full time. I'm trying to get my cousin connection up. Like it was just so much going on. So I just needed an answer. When my partner called, and I was like, this is how we're going to play the game. We had never signed the contract for the studio. So he called her back and said, okay, fork back the money for the studio because the studio is under Jessica's name. Since you say you don't want to talk to her, then you fork it back. Then she wants a message like, I am the boss. You need to remember I'm the boss, whatever, stuff like that. So all of a sudden, long story short, she can speak to me. We go over to her house. We go to the house and they have the contract, everything else like that. And we sign the contract. That's when she says, by the way, my husband saw the house on the Airbnb and he does not like that. He's not happy. He did not rent the space to you guys for you guys to make, like, do whatever you need to do. I said, you don't like us using the house as an Airbnb. She said, no. I said, not a problem. Not a problem. We'll take it down. And for those who followed me, if you notice, Unapologetic Nomads originally did my space as an Airbnb. They took the video down. I immediately took down the whole Airbnb thing. It's not an issue. Like, number one, let's be honest. I loved having the Airbnb because mostly you guys, that's how you reached out to stay. But y'all didn't reach out through Airbnb. You reached out through JS's. You get what I'm saying? So, I didn't mind it. What happened was it's such a beautiful place, people resting. And I kind of wanted to be like, he's totally wrong, but he doesn't communicate. That's number two, because he has never said anything to us. So this is a hearsay situation. We deleted. No problem. And so the whole past month, like if you notice, it's off of the YouTubes, everything else like that. Like we're good. So this is like 3 months ago. Maybe 2 months. I go to pay, like I pay early. So my rent is due August 15th. July 27th, I pay because I'm supposed to pay quarterly. I'm supposed to pay like $4,000 all the way up to December. I sent them $2,000 and just said I can pay $2,000 at the beginning of August and the $2,000 at the end of August. After they received the payment, they turn around and they're talking to my business partner and they said, by the way, if it was my choice, you wouldn't be in the house because you're still using it as an Airbnb. No, we're not. We haven't used it. And that's when they say we have people who've been watching you. There's people going in and out the house. I can't have guests because there's people been in this house, but they haven't paid. Because now you have to realize you're talking about my mama. You're dumb and you're talking about my mama. You think my mama is a pain? Okay. So that just really perturbed me. So we were supposed to have this meeting via WhatsApp so the husband could talk, whatever. And then I woke up in the morning and I was just like, look, I sent $2,000. Send the money back. Just send the money back. We'll vacate. We can just take what you stayed and like we can vacate. So the woman at first said okay, and then the husband came back and he was like, no, such and such, such and such. So he tried to put like all these reasons on why we don't give the money back and it's our fault and we have to look and they are not financially responsible for us looking. So that's when I already realized you're crazy. And I then responded back simply, since you want to go into a contract, because they keep on hollering about the contract. Real quick, the Airbnb piece. This is like a long video. They said we broke the contract by offering an Airbnb. The contract says we cannot sublease. It does not say you cannot sublet. Those are two different words with two different definitions. So I have constantly kind of been like, one, we respected you and stopped, but two, we have never violated the contract. Speaking of all the shit that y'all have over here that y'all have not fixed, and I fixed it. I have fixed everything in this house. Because that was one of the things when I realized she was tripping, I was like, you know what, from now on, I have redone the walls. I have fixed a lot of stuff out my pocket. But we have never violated the contract and we stopped. So you guys are assuming and working on an assumption that is dead wrong. So he comes back with all this reason. I simply said, based upon the contract, if you want us to vacate, it must be written and it must be in writing. We have never received the official writing notice to say that you want us to leave. Once we receive that, we will move ahead. If not, we will stay until October 15th, and that's when we will vacate, because that's what my rent has paid up for. I think that's cut and simple. I think that's dry. So I already knew, like, you have me, because all of this, we're in the midst of lockdown when this is going on. So you're telling me in the midst of lockdown, I am losing my housing that's already paid for. So I was like, that's pretty much cut and dry. I figured like that's cut and dry. A day later, she has now responded and she sends pictures of the Airbnb. No date on them. Never denied that we did it. It's old. The link is now deleted. And she's like, I do have proof. This is a violation. No. And then because she was like, and then she said, whatever, she sent that and I was just like, okay, this is dumb. And literally we just responded back, we will leave the premises October 15th. To which she says, no. And our lawyer will call you tomorrow. And I really like, bitch, bring them. Because I don't know no man. Like, I'm reading the contract. You have still not told us in writing to leave. And once you tell us to leave, you must refund the money. So at this point in time, they are trying to keep all the money, but tell us we have to leave before the time that we've paid for. So this is a long video. Here's the first thing. I have been, especially since Trayvon Martin, in my mindset, very specific on who I pay money to. And I don't pay money to people who hate me. That's the easiest way to say it. Like with Black Lives Matters, I don't pay money to people who put their energy out to shut me down. I believe in the best of blackness. So I really refuse to give them another dime because it's just like, this is unnecessary. This is all a simple conversation. Like you are trying to paint me out to be somebody who I'm 100% not. This is stupid. Here's the other thing. Y'all don't realize how much is going on in my life. And I work full time. I work way too much. So my full-time job is 7 to 4 p.m., which takes out a lot. So my teaching, let me just be honest, teaching. My break is July. Literally, they have called us to come back August 2nd. We don't start school to September 2nd. Like you literally, and they changed our schedule. Like we weren't supposed to come back to August 20th. I'm admin. So was ever. So I had authentically asked God for July. And what I asked him, I said is, you take care of July. In July, you're going to tell me my path. In July, you're going to let me lead. know everything I need to do. In July, you're going to help me figure out the schedule because this energy. In July, I gave God my July. I gave it to him. I will follow you because I don't know nothing. My brain is on top of itself. And so for this to happen in July, I think it's a good thing. Like, it's hell to go through what we're going through because now I'm going to just, get a lawyer. But you don't like, I'm good. I am not paying money to someone who hates me. You're crazy. I don't know how else to say it. Like, you're not doing things in a logical way, and it's like you're trying to over trump me. And let me be honest, I pay Sally Mae too much money to not know how to read a contract. It is not my fault that you did not put in your words nor knew the definitions of them. It is really not my fault. And then literally, I am having to get a lawyer so you can follow your own procedures of the contract because you can't tell us to leave without a written notice. And then once you tell us to leave, it's in the contract. You must pay me back my money. Simple. All right. So I'm up in the morning. I'm trying to get some stuff done. I gotta go. But I told you I'll tell you the truth, so we'll be moving.